Hey kawan, welcome to EDC Ready. Today I'm going to continue that series of videos I have on my channel. It's a playlist, you can check it out. It's about how locks work, and one thing about me is that I really like knife locking mechanisms. Kind of how I buy knives, kind of based off of their locking mechanisms. I try not to have more than one knife in one locking mechanism, with a few exceptions here and there. And today I want to talk about one of the most basic locking mechanisms out there, which is the liner lock. So the liner lock is, we have the steel liners right here, and you can see here there is a little metal liner here that kind of bends in, and to take a knife apart, it's easy to take it apart. You can see it here, you have the metal liner here, and then you have a little cut out here, and then this cutout is bent inwards like that. I'm not sure how they bent it, but they bent it, and then it kind of presses itself up onto the bottom tang of the blade right here. And the purpose of a liner lock is, of course, to lock the knife, but how it locks is that once the steel liner here goes into its slot right here, what's actually happening is that it pushes the tang of the blade, and then it's going to rotate, and then it pushes it up against the stop pin right here. So the tang of the blade here, I don't know if you guys can see it, but it's not going to be perfectly straight. It's going to be angled a little bit. It's going to be angled like that. So when the liner comes inwards, it's going to start pushing it in that direction, which will push the blade upwards. Once the blade is pushed upwards, it will be pushed into the stop pin, and that's majority of the time that's kind of how liner locks work. I think that this is exactly how a liner lock works every time. So we have here a Rat 2 in D2, and then this is a 10-gram Santa Fe. And now let's talk about the pros and the cons of the liner lock. So one of the pros of the liner lock is that it is very cheap to make. It's very easy to make. As you can see here, we have two budget knives that use liner locks. We have the Ontario Rat number 2 in D2, and then we also have the 10-gram Santa Fe. This is about $40. This is about 30 USD, maybe slightly less. So it's definitely a kind of lock that's very easy to get, even at the budget end of the spectrum. One of the downsides of the liner lock is that, well, number one, it's not considered the strongest lock. If you check out Blade HQ's testing, it's not going to be the strongest lock out there. However, in my experience, in my opinion, as long as you use a folding knife as a folding knife and not as a fixed blade, it's going to be fine for everyday usage. I've never had a liner lock fail on me, unless the liner lock itself has some kind of structural problem. The liner lock itself is not well done. But just keep that in mind. If you're the kind of person that really, and I mean really, beat on their knives, I mean you are the kind of person that you take your folding knife and then you do things that you're not supposed to use a folding knife for, such as trying to baton through wood, cut down a tree or whatever, it's not going to be the strongest locking mechanism for you. The other potentially dismerit to a liner lock knife is that for some people who are not used to it, they can get a little nervous about it, where when you unlock the knife and then we try to close the knife is actually going into the direction of your thumb. That is one of the benefits of, let's say, one of these axis lock or sliding bar lock type knives, where you can have your fingers completely outside of the realm of the dropping action, and when you pull it, it's just going to drop, and then your fingers are out of the way. Liner locks, on the other hand, it is going to be in the way. Another potential benefit about liner lock is that it has a tendency not to be completely fall shutty, because you will always have like lateral pressure over it, so it's gonna like not fall shut completely. Okay, there are a few exceptions. You definitely have some very high machine precision knives out there that has that feature, but more or less, knives like the compression lock or whatever, once you disengage the lock, you press it on the lock, it's going to drop shut all the way because there is no lateral pressure pushing it on that side. But yeah, all in all, it's a great beginner's lock. What am I saying? It's not beginner's lock. It's a great lock that you can find from all ends of the spectrum, from budget knives to mid-range knives. You can even find it in some like really high-end knives. I know hinderers also use liner locks. So be safe assured that it is a good lock. It's going to function quite well, and it's just one of those locks that work. It doesn't take much tuning to get it to work optimally, and it's just a locking mechanism that keeps the knife open, and it's just not a headache because it's a very easy knife to operate. You just push it over to this side and it goes down like that. In fact, that could be one of the benefits of a liner lock, which I forgot to mention. So not only is it cheap, is it easy to manufacture, it's also easy to manipulate. Okay guys, thank you very much for watching this video, and as always, we are now in the period of COVID-19, so stay safe and stay ready.